I had a video recently that showed that, yes, generally speaking, cord cutting really does save us money over cable or satellite. But hang on, says the almighty YouTube commenter, you can't really cut the cord as long as you're paying for cable internet. And you know what? Fair enough, they got a point. A lot of the excitement about cord cutting is getting out from under the thumb of those giant cable companies, and as more people start streaming their TV, we hear more complaints from people who thought they were getting freedom, only to discover that they had to stick with their cable company for internet access. And the frustration makes sense, right? Cable companies have among the lowest customer satisfaction scores out there. So if you're cutting the cord because you're trying to ditch, say, Comcast or Charter because you prefer not to be their customer anymore, then yeah, you're justified in feeling kind of frustrated when you find out that you can't sign up for CenturyLink or Verizon or one of those competitors because they don't service your area. So you feel stuck with no options. It's a crappy feeling. But there may be more options than you think. And even if not, there's at least light at the end of the tunnel. I'll tell you what I mean. Today, I'm going to give you 3 things. First, a kind of unconventional definition of cord cutting. Second, a tool I just discovered that you may want to try out. And third, hope. So let's dive in. Hey everybody, thanks for watching today. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy this video, if you find it helpful, and join me every Friday for live streams here. We start usually at around 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Love to have you there for games, giveaways, Q&As, all that stuff. All right, let's dive in. Now, first of all, let's define what cord cutting is. The name suggests snipping away the tether that kept you with your cable company, giving you the freedom to watch TV or not on your own terms, just using the internet to stream. And that's fine enough as a definition. I think the operative word there is freedom. Cord cutting means freedom. But let me offer up another word that's equally important. Cord cutting means satisfaction. Because isn't that what this is about? If I'm gonna part with my money, I'd rather be happy about it. Well, or at least satisfied, right? And how is that going to happen? How will we achieve this Zen-like state of contentment? Well, I think it will happen naturally, actually, over the next several years. But before we get to that though, let's look at 4 reasons why you're unsatisfied at the moment. First of all, loyalty doesn't pay. In fact, it's weirdly kind of the opposite, isn't it? Let's say you've been with, I don't know, CenturyLink for 5 years, 10 years, or maybe more. Do they thank you with a discount? No. I mean, even airlines have figured out loyalty discounts at this point, right? So why haven't internet providers? Well, I'll answer that in a sec, but it reminds me of the second thing that keeps us unsatisfied, and that's contracts. Now, to be fair, this is becoming less of a thing than it was a few years ago, but yeah, it's still a thing. 1-year contracts are one thing, but 2-year contracts are on another level. Satellite TV companies are notorious for this. Give people one price for the first year, then a way higher one during the second year of the contract, and lots of things like that. Again, this is kind of the opposite of a loyalty discount. The third source of dissatisfaction is add-ons. Now you see the sticker price, and yeah, maybe it's a little steep, but it's not too bad. Until you add in the modem rental and the multi-room setup and the regional sports fee and so on, and pretty soon that sticker price looks more like a pipe dream. But the last source of dissatisfaction is pretty simple. Customer service. Try as they might, these big companies can't seem to tamp down the customer service horror stories. Long hold times, difficult agents, incorrect information, take your pick. It can be frustrating, yeah. So how are we gonna solve all these issues? Well, time and technology. Really, it's time for technology, I suppose. We just need a little more time for certain technologies to enter the mainstream, and then we'll be really cooking with gas. Now, which technologies am I talking about? Especially here, I'm talking about 5G and satellite internet. Now, I should mention fiber as well. Fiber is a more established technology, and we can already see the effect it's having where it's rolled out. Municipal fiber, that's where a city or a county has invested in fiber installation, can be a beautiful thing. In fact, that's what finally got me to separate from my longtime cable provider. Now I pay only a little bit less than I used to, but I get a lot more for the price that I do pay. So because of all this, there may be more options in your area than you thought. Maybe, maybe not. If you want to check out your area and see what's available to you, there are two places you can go. First of all, hit up Reviews.org, and on our internet pages, you can use a zip code checker to see which internet providers are already in your area. There may be more than you thought. So I'll link to that in the description if you want to go check that out. But municipal network providers may not show up on those lists. Mine didn't. So you can also check out this handy interactive map I found over at muninetworks.org. Zoom in on your community to see if maybe you have an extra option there. That'd be pretty sweet. But back to 5G and satellite internet constellations. We're talking about things like Starlink and Kuiper. You may have heard of these. These technologies are coming up fast, and they will potentially massively disrupt the internet provider ecosystem as we know it. Now, if you want to know more about the current state of 5G and satellite internet and how these work, we've done explainers on this channel, so you should go check those out. I'm not going to spend any more time on it right here. Anyway, the point is this: these technologies are the light at the end of the tunnel. Think back to those four things that were so frustrating about cable and satellite for so long. Customer service, contracts, add-on fees, and a lack of appreciation for your loyalty. Every single one of these should be helped out as more technologies and more companies are able to bring the internet into your home. And they don't even have to be new players like SpaceX. If T-Mobile can use 5G to give you home internet, and they can, it's just still in its infancy, and if Starlink can pipe down your connection from low Earth orbit, then that's two more internet providers for you to choose from. And that's two more things that will make the cable companies, who have had a near monopoly up to this point, stop and say, okay, hang on, what can we do to keep these people around now that they have more choices? So yeah, they may have to lower their prices and make them more transparent and offer rewards or discounts for longtime customers. So the bottom line here, will the cord-cutting revolution include cutting out the cable companies entirely? Well, for many people, it probably will. They'll sign up for satellite or bundle with their mobile provider. For many, though, the cord-cutting revolution will mean that over time, their relationship with their existing cable company will have them feeling more like a customer and less like a hostage. At least that's the hope. I think we'll get there. It's just not going to be an overnight change. It will happen in slow motion over the next several years. But when we get there, we'll look back on our cable situation the same way we look back at the ubiquity of Sears. Now, if you're old enough, you know what I'm talking about. If you're younger, you may not have ever even been in a Sears, which honestly kind of proves my point. Things change. But let me know how hopeful you are in the comments below. Do you think this will all shake out to our advantage? Or is it doom and gloom as far as the eye can see? I'm hoping this will start a good conversation in the comments. Just remember to keep it friendly, and definitely remember to like this video, subscribe if you haven't yet, and go buy one of these Craig is always right mugs, because, you know.